My name is Jessica Fick, and I'm an assistant professor of mechanical engineering here at UW-Platteville. This is the end of my 6th year, but I'm also an alumni of UW-Platteville. I graduated in 2003. Mechanical engineering is housed in Ottensman Hall. It was built in the 60s, and it certainly wasn't designed for the uses that we're putting it through at this point. So a lot of the labs have been adapted, a lot of the spaces, walls have been put up, taken down. The HVAC system isn't built for what we're using it for, let alone the student uses. And so getting new facilities would really mean designing the space to handle the equipment and the way that we're using it to better serve our students.
As a civil engineer, I started, like every other person who's in the engineering field, in the general engineering department, which most of our general engineering classes are in Otts, but a lot of physics classes that we have to take are in engineering hall. And I actually enjoyed engineering hall better because they had larger areas in which you could study or work in a group, and it was really helpful. Also, as I grew older and started getting into my field, most of my classes have been in Otts. A lot of times when we have exams, for certain classes we have so many materials that we need for the exam that the small little desks that we have in each of our classrooms that we actually have class in aren't large enough, and we can't, it's really hard because a lot of students have to have like their one book for a class on their lap, and then they have their calculator in their hand and trying to write on the small little desks. It's really difficult because I think it distracts the student from trying to just do their exam.
A few years ago, we had a student in the civil and environmental engineering program who was in a wheelchair, and our labs were not easily accessible for her. We did the best we could to make accommodations, but it certainly was not an ideal learning situation for her. Everyone has sweaters or blankets in their offices because some days your office will be 50 degrees and then some days it will be 80 degrees, just the age and the additions to the building and tying it all together. It's hard to learn when it's 80 degrees in your classroom. It's hard to learn when you're wearing gloves while you type. So for example, this room, when we're teaching in this room, the students are sitting in long rows, so if you want to walk around the room to get to students to help them with problems, or if you want them to work in groups, the room just physically can't manage that. Ceiling tiles, the sound quality because of the vents blowing in the room all the time, the columns that we can't move, there's just a lot of physical aspects to the room that can't be changed that make it not conducive to the ways we would like to teach today. I think what we would want in a new space are locations for undergraduate research, for collaborative learning, for active learning. A lot of the classrooms that we have right now, they're just not the appropriate size or don't have the infrastructure to allow you to do the group learning. We can't have everyone bring a computer to the classroom because there's nowhere to plug in things. The outlets aren't designed for that. The various systems can't handle the types of learning that we would want to do. And again, getting students involved in group activities, in undergraduate research, we just don't have the safe spaces available for that right now.
So this is our stock room, right? So this is a very good example, actually. I'm glad that we are in here. This is like the main place that everybody comes in and everybody gets what they want. But with this, we had major problems during the summertime because of the humidity. We have a whole bunch of racks over there. You'll see these pipelines. Even now you can see some corrosion on the pipelines, right? We've seen drips throughout the summer, right? And we also have saw during a couple of summers ago that some of the chemicals they burst open. And multiple situations like that here, just because we cannot control the HVAC system. The building is old, the HVAC system is old, and thus the problems we are facing today.